Yo, what's up everybody? Once again, it's Brand Man Sean, and this is another video on a Saturday morning recorded straight from my phone, brought to you by BrandManNetwork.com because I signed myself. Now I gotta talk about two topics. One is something that a lot of people have been asking me about. We're gonna switch up. It's a little bit less like straight up artist related, and it's some artist news. Jay-Z actually signing and partnering with the NFL. A lot of people have been wondering what I think about that, and I'm gonna tell y'all, okay, I might have a somewhat controversial opinion, but you let me know if you think it's controversial, because I feel like most people's opinion should be considered controversial. Mine should be considered logic. So let's get into that. I'm gonna start with the whole race part of things, because that's a big reason that people think this is relevant, right? I want to say, I'm gonna cut it into black and white, as a matter of fact. And look, the black people who are like, yo, Jay-Z's a sellout for this, and he's dealing with the NFL, all that stuff. What they don't understand, that there's white people that are literally looking at the NFL, and since this whole Kaepernick thing has happened, there are white people that have been complaining about the NFL in the same way. So when you have groups on both sides that are angry because they think that the other side is winning, it already shows you clearly how detached the public is and how you can't really use the public to move and make your actual decisions in the first place. So let's just start there. And now let's get into this specific deal. All right, Jay-Z partnering with the NFL. What do I think? The first thing I thought was, oh man, that's crazy. That's interesting. Didn't see that coming. That was the first thing I thought. Then the second thing I thought was, I wonder what other people think about this. I was just curious. And then I started to see all these opinions, right? Obviously, a lot of people calling him a sellout. And then, all right, I didn't expect that. I thought it was going to be more celebratory than that, just to be real. And now I go into how I think about the process. One, I don't know Jay-Z's heart. I typically do not really pretend to know people's heart who I don't know. But I also use historical data as actions, right? Or as prediction of what might be happening. So when it comes to Jay-Z, yes, he's done so much for the black community when it comes to this whole prison reform and like doing documentaries, all that kind of stuff. So that's consistent with, why would he be a sellout? Why would he make this move where he know that would be a sellout move to make, right? That doesn't make sense. So he's far more aware than that. He's far more aware than that. So if that doesn't make sense, right, and it's not consistent with who he supported in the past, he doesn't claim to be Kanye, oh, I'm free and I'm separate from everybody, and he doesn't push that kind of brand, right? Then you know that there has to be more to it. Why would he make a decision like that might ruin his brand or how he gets perceived when it's just a cash grab, which is the stupidest mess I've seen from so many people saying, oh, Jay-Z's about the money, it's a cash grab. Just money, right? To make that kind of decision based on just money makes zero sense. First of all, I know he's not going to get paid that much money. When I say that much money, like, matter of fact, let me say I don't know. But I doubt he's being paid an enormous amount of money that's going to super change his life, right? He's already a billionaire, supposedly, right? And that money isn't necessarily, that's not what's inspiring him at this point, right? When people make a certain amount of money, their decisions are not about more money. Poor people tend to think money is where power comes from. So they always are looking at money as that thing. People who already have money are now looking at control and power. That's what Jay-Z had to be making a move for. That's what my mind says. All right, so what does he want control? What kind of power move is he making? What's his strategy? I don't know. I have no idea what his heart says, but I know that in terms of a branding perspective, it doesn't make sense short term, right? But that means there has to be something else. So what I think is, let me sit and watch. That's what I tend to think. If I don't know the answer, but it doesn't make sense if I use my logic, I say, let me sit and watch. I can't ask dude. I don't know him, right? I don't know anybody who knows him, or was in on the deal or anything like that. So that's where I start off with. And especially knowing people are short-sighted, Jay-Z has a history of going from where he went from to where he is, the level of strategy that you have, right? The way you have to think about certain things, that it's inconsistent to even think that he would make the type of move that just for the money. And then if you want to get into like dealing with the NFL and on a straight moral high ground perspective, okay, Jay-Z is doing this deal with the NFL. Eric Reed if you guys, some of y'all might not know. See, some of y'all might not even care about this situation, so I get it. Whatever, y'all might be off this video. Eric Reed is getting paid by the NFL. He's Cap's friend and like, yo, man, you're tripping to do this deal. You're making money from the NFL. Colin Kaepernick is getting paid doing campaigns with Nike, who openly funds the NFL, right? Like their NFL jerseys, Nike check, all that stuff. So it has nothing to do with a moral high ground. Like all of them are dealing with what people are looking at as they're the devil from the black perspective, right? People are acting like the NFL is the devil right now, and all of them are dealing with them in some perspective. The only problem is Jay-Z is, on his perspective, coming in with whole actionable items, supposedly. That's what he's saying. He's talking about action. All these social media activists, right, there's a lot of people, let's put it this way, there's a lot of people who make money off of literally talking about black people's problems, right? They build a brand and a personal brand and make a living off of really writing about all these issues and these black issues, doing panels about these black issues and tweeting about these black issues and all this stuff. But what are they doing? And I'm not saying, oh, we're going to hand out book bags in the community. That stuff is cool, but not all this charitable stuff and not all these masturbatory circle jerk conversations where we feel good after the conversation, but we don't go out into the world and make any change happen. So let's talk about how real change actually comes about, right? It takes you typically getting in, learning the system, and dealing with it and figuring out how do we change these things. I'm not going to even get into Jay-Z and you really study how he makes his moves, some of the things to consider about from this perspective. But what I will say, it's also been said now that Jay-Z is actually looking at a team to purchase a significant portion of, which is wild from my perspective. That's dope. And I think we were all rallying for like Diddy a year ago to possibly, or a year or two ago, to possibly own the Panthers. So we're cool with there being a black owner of a team, but we're not cool with black people working with it. None of that stuff makes sense, right? So like the whole thought is, what's the action that's gonna happen? So I think one, wait and see. That's my biggest thing. Wait and see. My guess, based on historical data of watching Jay-Z and what literally just makes sense, is getting an actual seat at the table and working with those people. That's going to give you true influence to be able to make some real change, some actual change in that system. Two, apparently, this is what I've heard. I haven't confirmed this yet. When it comes to Jay-Z looking at some team that hasn't been disclosed yet to find a significant portion to buy out of a team, apparently to be on NFL's board or something like that, or to do something that Jay-Z that's related to the announcement, you actually have to own a part of the team to be in the club, right? Apparently, like Jay-Z will have not only that, but a team and possibly be able to give Cap a job. I don't know all that stuff like for a fact as far as if he's going to get this team and all that stuff. This just has been reported, but I would not be surprised. The bigger thing that I do know is the NFL is a club. And to get in that club, the club has to be familiar with you. You have to like start to build relationships. You can't just be, oh, I'm a rich billionaire. You're playing odds. Those people don't need your money to buy a team. That's why Gary Vee has said himself, that's part of him getting a sports agency. Jay-Z has a sports agency to start building relationships in that world. Gary Vee has literally kind of said the same thing himself, and he launched his sports agency later, right? To start to get in that world, make relationships, build things and all that stuff, and get in that circle and to meet people because he wants to buy the Jets in, I don't know what, like 40 years or something wild like that, right? Understanding that it's more than just a money play, you have to be a part of the club. The club has to have some kind of comfort with you because they vote on all these things, right? All these things are to be in that. You have to have control and actually make change. You literally have to be a part of it because they literally have a table. They literally vote on things to make certain decisions. And once certain decisions get made, it becomes uniform around things. So I'm gonna get off that. I could get in further details. I think Jerry Jones is a good use case I've been educated on Jerry Jones, and he's a Dallas Cowboys owner, but to make certain changes and things he didn't like, he owned a team and he had to go to the board, get things voted on, and then it gets implemented. You have to be inside it to make the change. Dapper Dan has said the same thing. Getting in Gucci. People didn't like him in Gucci and working with Gucci, but to learn how these systems work, to learn how these companies work and be there as opposed to going over there on the other side of town and we don't mess with you because it's some, childhood ego stuff. that doesn't necessarily make the actual change happen. MLK's whole I Had a Dream was more about working with people, and then look at the impact that hip hop culture has been able to make because we've been together versus going the other way like some people want it. We don't want to work with them at all. Oh, we're going to go build our complete own. It's a long-term strategy. Short-term, it sounds good, right? We're going to go build our own. But long-term, if you want to build something up, right, be a part of it and even take over in some words, right, then you have to become a part of first. It's a process. I'm not going to get into some of that stuff. So, matter of fact, this video went longer than I thought it would go. I'll end it with this. Artists, y'all can implement the same thing with, instead of worrying about this surface level perception stuff, the good short-term decisions, the things that look good, make some long-term decisions. All right. Once again, this video is brought to you by brandmannetwork.com because I signed myself. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you like it, you might as well share it. And if you're not subscribed, oh yeah, I want to know what you think. Hit that subscribe button.